What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today we're talking about this.
We're heading to Area 51. I don't know why I'm nervous. I shouldn't be nervous. Like, this is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
In the middle of the night on January 21st, 2026, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office gets a report of a trespasser at the Nevada Test and Training Range, a vast swath of land that includes a highly restricted facility known to the public as Area 51.
Thank you.
The deputy is waved through the gate and onto some of the U.S. military's most heavily guarded property. Defended by a private security force known popularly as the Camo Dudes, Area 51's secrecy has led to conspiracy theories about what exactly is happening beyond these gates. And the man currently being detained by security believes he's figured it out.
What's going on?
I've drove up here. I know it sounds weird, strange, but it's true. This is part of a time dilation facility, and we are experiencing this now. And you may not remember, I hope you remember it now.
While investigating the man's bizarre claims, the responding deputy will be invited behind closed doors into an area the public never gets to see.
Hey, can I run up there and make a phone call?
The following report is based on official police records, and the footage has never been seen before until now.
They don't share your same thoughts.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, you better think about it right now because you're this close to being handcuffed back on, bud. The IDs, they're saying that they're all fake.
What if I did get clearance?
That's probably not going to happen, though.
There's more to it.
All right, Vetters, please hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Now, so what's today's video about? This is a crazy one, y'all. They just released some body cam footage online of a gentleman who basically broke into Area 51, let's say. This just happened this year, 2026, back in January. And I just think this is absolutely nuts in more ways than one. But I thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of just take a look at what it's like to go visit Area 51 overall in this video. And there are people that try to break in because they think they have some sort of, inside knowledge or know what's going on. And just to like show people how serious, of a thing this is, I'm just, it's kind of a cautionary tale here. So what we're going to do is take a look at this body cam footage. And then I've actually got a special video to show you of a trip I took to Area 51 years ago. I went up to the gate, okay? And we're going to get into all of that near the end of the video, so stay with us. But let's take a look at this body cam footage, again, of this gentleman who decided to break into Area 51, essentially, and get busted. Now, you're going to see a part of Area 51 that nobody has ever seen before, at least not publicly like this, and it appears in this body cam footage. So I just thought this was kind of fascinating. Now, I haven't seen all of the footage, and normally I watch all the videos and the clips that I show, but I thought I saw a little bit of it because I had to make the intro and this and that, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to save my raw, real reactions for this. And just you'll get to see it firsthand. So as you're watching it, we're gonna have the same real raw reactions to this. So we're gonna kind of take it in parts, right? So let's start with part one and kind of get a little background of what exactly happened. Let me ask you something for a second. A lot of big tech email providers say their service is free, but is it actually free? Because in most cases, you're not paying with money. You're paying with your data. Your emails, your behavior, the things you click, the things you sign up for. All of that can be collected, analyzed, and sometimes even monetized. And when you think about it, email is one of the most personal parts of your digital life. It's where your bank logins are, your private conversations, work messages, receipts, everything. So the real question is, What if your email could actually be private? That's where Proton Mail comes in. Proton Mail was built around privacy from the ground up, with end-to-end encryption that keeps your messages secure, in a way that even Proton can't read your messages. You also get powerful spam filters to keep your inbox clean. And there are no ads, no tracking, and no companies scanning your emails. It's just email. Simple, private, and actually yours. If owning your digital privacy matters to you even a little bit, Proton Mail is definitely worth checking out. You can start completely free and use my link proton.me/vetted right now. You can find it in the description below as well.
In the middle of the night on January 21st, 2026, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office gets a report of a trespasser at the Nevada Test and Training Range, a vast swath of land that includes a highly restricted facility known to the public as Area 51.
Thank you.
The deputy is waved through the gate and onto some of the U.S. military's most heavily guarded property. Defended by a private security force known popularly as the Camo Dudes, Area 51's secrecy has led to conspiracy theories about what exactly is happening beyond these gates.
I mean, that's an understatement, right? And we've all heard the stories about the Camo Dudes, right? That's essentially what they're called. So clearly they've done their research on what the lore and what's in the zeitgeist about Area 51. And yeah, and just so we're clear here, right? The idea is that Area 51 is hiding aliens and bodies and this sort of thing, right? UFOs, even Obama talked about it recently, right? Where he's like, no, there's nothing under Area 51. Like, whoa. Nobody said anything about under Area 51. First of all, I'm just kidding. But regardless, so probably why this guy's going, right?
And the man currently being detained by security believes he's figured it out.
What's going on?
I drove up here. I know it sounds weird, strange, but it's true. This is part of a time dilation facility, and we are experiencing this now. And you may not remember. I hope you remember it now.
Now, I have to admit, never heard this theory before about Area 51 being a time dilation facility. Which is interesting, right? Those are interesting words to put together, because time dilation, I had never heard of it until I saw the movie Interstellar, to be honest with you, that Christopher Nolan movie. And essentially the idea is that in the movie, Matthew McConaughey and his little astronaut crew are by this like black hole, I believe it is, and they're going to go down to this planet. But if they go down to the planet, time just goes differently there because of gravity. Gravity affects how time passes. So essentially the idea is whoever goes down to that planet, time relative to Earth will be different. So for instance, 1 hour on that planet is like 7 years on Earth.
Every hour we spend on that planet will be 7 years back on Earth.
And what happens in the movie, right? The Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway and I forget the other guy from American Beauty. They go down to the planet. Stuff happens. They kind of get stuck there longer. And when they come back up, the one other astronaut that stayed on the spaceship, like 30 years pass or some crap like that, right? Like, so it's like, oh my God.
I've waited years. How many years? By now it must be.
It's 23 years.
So that's essentially what time dilation is. It's a form of time travel, but not in the Back to the Future way, you may be thinking about it. So again, this is an interesting theory, time dilation theory. I have never heard this about Area 51. And look, it gets even crazier.
It's tied to Revelations. It's tied.
Okay.
I mean, with heaven, I believe in heaven.
I do too, but here's the deal.
Yeah.
There's a gate that has a no trespassing sign outside that
Yes, I passed.
that gate. You passed it. So you've seen the sign, and obviously you've seen the gate.
Yes.
Okay. Did you come out here earlier too and try to open the gate?
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yes. No hostility intended.
No, by doing what you've done, that is hostility.
Oh.
This is the military, okay?
Okay.
Or this is no joke.
Right.
Apparently this guy tries to open the gate, and then he's like, no hostility. and they're like, dude, by doing that, that's a hostile act. How are they supposed to, how are guards supposed to know what you're doing? And again, if you go up to a military base, no trespassing sign, gates and say, you don't go in. Okay. No matter what you think is going on in this facility, this is just not the right way to do this. But what's interesting is they redacted something when the officer said something. Well, let's take a look at that again.
This is a military.
Why do they redact it? It says this is a military what? A military what? I don't know. That's kind of interesting because if he says it's a military base, why do you have to redact that? It's a military testing facility or something. Maybe he revealed exactly what Area 51 is used for. I don't know. That's interesting. Again, I'm seeing this for the first time with y'all. That's just raw reaction here. But that's kind of interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think he said and why they would have redacted it. But so far, I find that to be kind of interesting. And that's why we watch these kind of things, right? You never know what you're going to learn. Sometimes you don't learn everything from a movie from the main actor. It's that character actor in the corner, right? That supporting actor, right? Another toss away line in the movie. So that's essentially what's happened here.
So you're out here because of some religious belief? Is that what I'm getting at?
It's more to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something about time travel or?
Not travel. Dilate. It's experiencing this time multiple times.
Okay.
So he's like, there's more to it than the religious aspect. This deputy is just like, dude, he just thinks this guy's crazy, right? Right off the bat. If you ask me, something's not going right with that guy for him to do that, right? Like, what does he think the outcome is going to be exactly, right? Those are kind of crazy thoughts. And I'm using crazy because I'm not a professional here, psychologist. I don't really know the right term, mental health issue. And he's like, so, the deputy's like, oh, so time travel? He's like, no, time dilation. No, we're experiencing this multiple times. I don't know. Is that time dilation? I don't think that's just explain what it was before. So maybe he has a different idea. He's thinking more like Groundhog Day sort of style going on here. Again, interesting theory, but from someone who may not have it all together there. Now, that doesn't mean his theory can't be legit, just to play devil's advocate and to be fair here, but I don't know. Am I thinking wrong about time dilation? Let me know what you think in the comments.
The deputy doesn't appear to have an immediate interest in the man's theories of time and space, but he is interested in his ID badges.
What is this?
What's that?
Nathan? Is that your first name?
Yes.
What's this? Just like this where you work? A contractor or something?
Yeah, that's Huntsville Hospital. There's Huntsville Hospital, Paladine Brown. The green one, Redstone Arsenal, it's Army Material Command, and then NASA, Marshall Space Flight Facility. All part of a space program that deals with this, I know.
Well, unfortunately, you don't have permission to be out here. They wouldn't know.
All right, so at first glance, like, wait, so this guy has ID badges from all these places? I'm a little confused on exactly what is going on here. Does he just have some information that sort of leads all of this together? Again, people connect all kinds of dots in this community. I've seen it, right? So this sounds like someone who may potentially be a viewer vetted. Like, we're in the conspiracy theory world, but I try not to fuel it too much, right? Like, it's speculative, it's fun, it's for entertainment. You can go too far and end up like this guy. I mean, that guy could have been shot, right? These guys don't play around. You got to be careful out there. If you got some theories, okay, have fun, speculate. We do it in our Discord all the time, and we do it on this channel all the time. But again, I'm a little confused what's going on with these ID badges and who he is. So let's find out what's going on here.
The deputy has dispatched check his Tennessee license for criminal history before returning to ask about his contractor IDs, which the camo dudes have deemed questionable.
Like, do you contact with the government?
Yes.
Are you lying about that, or are you being honest?
Being honest.
Did you guys see any of his we saw the military badges, but me and my partner we saw them, and it looked like came out of a cereal box.
Oh,
They could be real,
that's
but
Army Material Command.
yeah. Okay. But also, I thought maybe they could be like temporary type ones as well. Yeah. Those look a little bit more kind of vague, like those.
So I thought I heard a laugh there in the background. And so he's saying that he's a contractor for the government. And he's got these serious badges, right? And the camo dudes are like, dude, these look like they came out of a Cracker Jack box. Maybe they could be temporary ones, but they don't believe them to be real IDs here. And it sounds like he's got multiple. So again, still a little confused on who this guy is and what exactly going on. But I admit this is kind of interesting in the sense that who is this guy? Now he has fake IDs with him, potentially, allegedly.
Of course, even if Nathan has a genuine contractor ID issued from the Army, it wouldn't give him clearance to sneak onto an Air Force base in the dead of night. But clarifying this won't be as simple as it sounds.
Why did you think you could come out here again?
For this time, here, we're experiencing a reoccurrence of time, and I need
time travel or something.
Not travel, time dilation, part of a space program tied to this facility and the Redstone facility, of which I have the badge to, and this is part of that time dilation facility.
What if I told you that you're wrong? Are you going to argue with me, or like you're 100% wrong? You're wrong.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Why did you leave the first time? Because you're probably thinking maybe you probably shouldn't do it.
I gave up, and I just thought I'd give it a shot. I was hoping I wouldn't end up in handcuffs.
Well, you're probably going to end up in jail.
So again, like, what are the cops supposed to do at this point, right? What's that deputy supposed to do? Like, it's a time dilation secret facility. Okay, sir, Nathan, let's get you in there, right? Let's bust this wide open. Like, what's he supposed to do? All right, so apparently he went up to the gate one time, got scared, came back, made it through, and now he got busted, right? Immediately, because they're watching all of that, as I'll show in my trip to Area 51 later in the video. They are always watching.
Because of Nathan's theories about time, even explaining that he's not allowed back at Area 51 in the future is a challenge.
If you were to leave and escort you out, you would not come back? Is that what you're telling me? So you had that opportunity to not get into trouble.
I'll come back, it'll be the same date. It's with a dilation, but not in a later date. No, I will not come back. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to...
No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay.
So, no, it does not make any sense, because I'm not going out. I'm not doing any of that.
No, sir.
All I'm saying is you can't be here.
Yeah, okay.
So...
All right.
So, that was not the right answer, Nathan, right? Are you going to come back to this place if I let you go? I mean, I'm going to come back, but on the same date. But not in a future date. I'm not coming back. What? Again... You just don't mess around with, for those of you outside of America. I mean, I live in Spain, but, I'm from Texas. I'm American. You just don't mess around with sheriffs or deputies or police in general there. They are very serious. They don't play games. And you don't play games with them. It's, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. And you just, give them essentially the answers they want to hear, if I'm being honest, right? So you can get out of it, right? If you start explaining this and that, I mean, what kind of answer is that? Yeah, I'm going to come back on the exact same date. You're just asking to get in trouble. Again, and if you do believe this theory about this place, then how does that help your chances of figuring this out if you're going to get arrested, right? It just doesn't, again, when you're not thinking clearly, you make unclear decisions.
In his own way, Nathan appears to understand that he can't return to the base, and when his criminal history comes back clean, the deputy isn't sure there's enough to justify an arrest.
He has no criminal history at all. He's got some contractors ID tags with the government. No drugs. He's been 100% cooperative. He let me search his vehicle. The reason that he said he's out here, and this is where it's kind of, he he's not like tweaked out on drugs, or he doesn't appear to be. It's just he has this idea that it's something to do with time. He didn't say time travel, but something to do with time, and he's works for NASA. You know, he did that spill.
So he's a contractor, he works for NASA, all these different things. I mean, this guy's kind of all over the place. And honestly, that's not a good sign that he's not tweaked out on drugs and doing this stuff, right? That almost makes him more dangerous, because then you'd have a reason of why he may be acting this way. But, you know, he's got no criminal history. And the officer's like, well, I don't know if I can arrest the guy. And then he's trying to explain to dispatch, right? Like, he's talking about time or something, you know? Again, when you say things like that, people just don't know what you're talking about, because you're trying to explain this complex theory you may have in such a weird way. Like, they're going to be like, oh, time dilation. Okay, got it. I know what you mean. I saw 60 Minutes on that.
As the deputy gives him the two paths forward, Nathan explains that he's actually celebrating.
Do you understand that there's two options, and the option one is go to jail, which I'm going to be honest with you, you know, that's still can happen.
Okay.
And the other one is a citation.
Okay.
Which means you are going to get a citation and be able to leave. But if you do that, I need to know that you're not going to come back if we were to do that.
Okay.
No.
No, I'll leave.
And not come back.
And not come back.
If that's what we choose to do. If I choose to do that. Is that right?
Yes.
So, are you on vacation? Or
It's a birthday trip.
Birthday trip?
Yeah. It's tomorrow.
Your birthday's tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you really want to spend your birthday in jail?
Not particularly.
So this took a turn, right? He's there on a birthday trip and decided, you know what? It's a good way to celebrate 48 or whatever he's turning, right? I'm going to go break into Area 51 in the middle of the night by myself. And granted, if you've never been out there, Area 51 is in the middle of nowhere, okay? You have to drive, if I remember, it's been years since I went, but you have to drive like, it's about 3 hours, 3.5 hours outside of Las Vegas, down roads, nothing there, okay? Couple stops along the way, but there's nothing out there, right? And then you go down these dirt roads that are like 20 miles, right, off the main road. And when I say main road, I'm talking a 2-lane desert highway, one way each way, right? Like, it's nothing, right? So in the middle of the night, right? So it's just like a crazy birthday trip to take. And he's not even celebrating, like, you know, he's not popping champagne. He's just like, I'm going to go prove this time dilation theory and get out there on my birthday. And I mean, it is a great story to have, right? Birthday trip here. Granted, he didn't know what was going to happen, and he clearly doesn't want to get in trouble. I mean, he's got no criminal history. So he's, in my opinion, he is playing it right up to this point. You know, he's said a few things, but you know, cops can just kind of dismiss that. He is being cooperative and not aggressive in any way. And, but I will admit that is quite an interesting birthday story he'll have to tell in the future.
But when faced with the prospect of a lifetime ban, Nathan holds out hope that things could change.
If I were to cite you and give you the opportunity not to be in jail on your birthday, would you not come back? Ever?
Ever? Well, ever.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you are not allowed back here, ever.
What if I did get clearance?
Well, you can what if all you want, but that clearance you would. I'm not. That's what I'm saying, Nathan. I'm not going there. I'm saying
not
right
trying
now.
to be a smartass. I promise.
Well, with this action.
Yeah, but I get the severity.
Yeah.
If I was invited back.
Well, you'd have. Yeah. That's probably not going to happen, though.
Okay, all right.
But
well, I mean, if it's...
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it happens, it happens. But I'm telling you right now, that probability is like 1 in a trillion.
So this is hilarious, and it reminds me of one clip in particular.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Love that clip from Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance, right? So he's basically saying, I mean, I can't come back ever. What if I get clearance, right? Like, it's like, come on, man. If you were going to get clearance, wouldn't you, you get invited? Why would you do this then? Nobody's going to give you clearance and invite you back when you tried to break in the middle of the night. Does that make any sense? Is that a guy you want? Don't you think they're going to think, oh, he's definitely going to break into places inside the facility he's not allowed to go? It's not like you get clearance to just walk around the whole facility, right? Why would you invite somebody like that back in? Yeah, let's get him closer to the place.
Okay. Be in this situation anytime you come.
Anytime you come, you do not have any right to be on here.
Deja vu.
If Nathan feels like this happened before, he's not the only one.
I was just my magistrates. We got to go for him on our end.
So he's crossed before?
Yes, I believe so.
Dun, dun, dun. So apparently Nathan has been here before. That's interesting. And may have been caught. And, Nathan's like, I've been here, right? Like, is that his thing? He goes and then like, I'm experiencing this again for the same thing, right? This is so strange. But now we're taking some twist here, right? So apparently Nathan has gone there before and gotten busted and probably asked not to come back, right? This is not looking good for Nathan.
The Redstone ID looked familiar.
Okay.
A report comes over the radio that Nathan tried to get into Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas last month.
So, if I remember, because I remember that badge, and I think I remember the email, he went up to our guard, because we have an open gate there, and attempted to get in with that redstone, and we denied access at that point.
Okay, so this is interesting. So it's not like he tried to go to Area 51, but he did try to go to Nellis Air Force Base, which is just outside of Las Vegas, with that redstone badge, right? Saying he's a contractor, and he got denied. This is interesting. So apparently, I guess they sent an email out with a photo of that badge to let people know, hey, this guy, right? Like one of those signs you see at like Walmart or something, like, don't accept checks from this guy. Checks, for those of you youngins, don't know what I'm talking about, but for you folks my age or older, you know exactly what I mean. This story keeps taking a turn.
Nathan, you need to be 100% honest with me right now. Okay?
Okay.
In December, were you in the state of Nevada of last year?
Yeah.
Okay. You were in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Did you try to go on to a base using one of your cards?
I pulled up to the gate and left.
Okay. So you did try to go on there.
They didn't. They just asked me to leave. That was it.
Okay. Well, that's what I was referring to.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, you better think about it right now, because you're this close to being handcuffs back on, bud, and headed back.
I didn't even think about that, Nathan says, right? Because he knew that would not look good for him. I mean, this guy's not that stupid, right? He just maybe has some crazy beliefs about what's going on. And again, I don't know what's crazier than most of the stuff we talk about on here. But again, this is not something I recommend people do, right? Whether he has a real badge or a fake badge, clearly it's not a real badge, right? And he's just trying to get into these facilities, right? And see if he can uncover something. I mean, what's he going to do when he gets past the gate, right? What's he going to do? Park and go in and get a coffee and go find the UFO aliens? I mean, what's the potential outcome that he's expecting, right? It's like he's thought the whole theory through, but then he doesn't think this through, right? This is what I mean. It doesn't make sense. You have all these scattered ideas and thoughts, and you can't really put anything together. And so it seems real, or you figured something out, or, you know what I mean? It's, I'm not trying to be a psychologist here, but there's some sort of mental illness here that's not right. I could be wrong, right? Again, not a professional here, not diagnosing him at all. In fact, it's kind of a character. He's a little funny, right? He doesn't seem to be harming anybody, but he does have intentions that are unknown, to be honest. Again, what's he going to do if he gets past the gates, if he is let in, right? And then these ID and badges are clearly fake. Like, what does that mean? Can you just have fake badges like this? Or if he does work for these places, is he allowed to go flashing them around to just get into anywhere he wants? I mean, that's also a little scary, you know, in and of itself.
The deputy remains concerned that Nathan's curiosity about time dilation will override his vow to stay off the base.
You're showing tendencies that you're going to come back and you're trying to get on the base. I'm telling you, your idea that you have in your head, it's not going to work here. It's not going to work on any base. They don't share your same thought.
Okay, just take me.
Take you. So what you're saying, you're going to try to continually do this?
Not necessarily, no.
With that answer leaving room for doubt, the deputy tries again.
If I give you a citation tonight, which is like the biggest birthday present you've ever received in your whole life.
Okay.
What's your plan?
I believe I'll get a hotel room.
Okay, where at?
I guess I don't want to get one of the expensive ones without somewhere that way.
Well, you have cash in there. And I recommend you get to a place away from here.
So this guy doesn't even have a hotel room? I mean, he clearly doesn't live in the area. Again, Area 51 and these gates are out in the middle of the desert, hours away from Vegas, right? There's one hotel to stay in around there. Again, I've been out there. I know. There's a place called Alien, okay, in Rachel, Nevada, that's by the back gate entrance to Area 51. Now, they do let tourists go up to the gate, take pictures, hang out. And then there's like a front entrance too. You got to go down this dirt road, but there's no you don't know where you are, kind of, you know, so people go to the back gate. So that's where they go to Rachel, Nevada. And there's a little bar, restaurant, and a little hotel with like a few rooms, right? It's a small little town. There's a few like mobile campers. There's one convenience store with an old gas station pump. That's it. That's literally it out there. So it's not like he's just going to be able to find a Motel 6. There's just nothing out there. So this is not looking good for Nathan. And it kind of leaves room there like, take me. I don't know what I'm going to do, right? Time dilation, baby. Boom. 1.21 gigawatts or whatever. I don't know. But Nathan is kind of hilarious.
But even that may not be enough after the deputy speaks to an Air Force special agent who believes Nathan may be carrying counterfeit ID cards. And it is this final thread of the investigation that will lead the deputy into a never-before-filmed interior space.
All right, Nathan. Unfortunately, the IDs, they're saying that they're all fake. So you have worked for the government.
For the Redstone Arsenal?
Huh?
Redstone Arsenal? NASA, one of the NASA badge, and the other is an Army badge.
With the ID tags adding a new wrinkle in the mix, the deputy weighs his options.
We can arrest now for this charge of the IDs.
Yeah, so what was passed to us, right? So that's still up to your discretion.
Okay.
I got her number of contact for him. She wants to meet him at the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office.
The deputy tries to call the special agent again, but his phone isn't connecting, leading to a pivotal moment where he and his body cam will be invited further into Area 51 than any outsider has ever gone.
Okay, so it looks like Nathan, with his little Scooby-Doo hijinks moment here, might get us into a place where we can see a part of Area 51 that has never been made public before. Now, it may not be some secret thing, but again, it's hard to get any information about this place. And when you go out again to these, like the back gate, like where I went, there's just a gate and a little as you'll see later in the video, like a couple buildings, right? Like security little things, right? For the gate. That's it. That's it. You don't see anything. Right? It's just desert and then this like gate fence and the security officer's little office, right? Like guards that are watching there. Like there's nothing there, right? And where they're at, there's just a little, basically looks like a farm gate you'd see out in the farm, in the country, right? So I don't know where they're taking this officer. But, you know, I guess to some extent we owe Nathan a little thank you here. We get to see a little something on his behalf, of course.
Can I run up there and make a phone call?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have a phone up there.
Okay. I'll use this number. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Already nearly a mile inside the gates, the deputy drives even further down the road to a nondescript building.
99, and then whatever numbers you need.
Right, 792 and down 377.
What did you say, 99?
Yeah, 9990 off that one.
As the deputy tries to connect his call, gunshots can be heard in the background, the soundtrack to an action movie playing on TV.
Okay, so at first I thought those were real gunshots going on, but apparently that's just TV, you know, an action movie they're watching on TV. So it's just like a little guard shack, essentially. Nothing really revealing in there, right? It is very nondescript, but that's also interesting, right? But again, to be honest with you, I don't really want to know too much about secret stuff going on, right? If I'm going to learn about aliens and UFOs from the government, I just want them to come out and just reveal it, right? So it's legit. I you know, I want to be chased by the government, enemy of the state style, like, you know what I mean? Nor do I recommend or would ever in my position ever break into any like military facility. I mean, that's just nuts. It's just nuts. Never a thought has ever like that entered my brain. But Nathan, he had different ideas, and apparently they're pretty far into the gates, right? A mile or so, and on a dirt road, that takes a minute, and it's dark, and right. Again, this is interesting.
The deputy tells the special agent that he can make an arrest if she wants, but if he simply issues a citation, he can't guarantee Nathan will show up to talk to her in the morning.
Just cut him loose. Fuck it.
The special agent ultimately agrees, acknowledging that she wouldn't be able to say for certain that the IDs are fake without seeing them in person. But before leaving the security area, the deputy realizes that his lengthy investigation has begun to irritate the camo dudes.
I think you sent me a text that wasn't supposed to be sent to me. Yeah, well, I know, but you said, "Oh my God, this deputy." Now they said they can arrest for trespass. So.
Now that's hilarious, right? So they're just like tired of this deputy out there, like arrest this guy or not. Like this is, you know, some BS, right? That's kind of funny. So I guess there's a special agent that could, I guess Nathan could get in more trouble, right? If she could see these ID badges and find out what's going on. So they're kind of taking it serious, but not too serious. It's like they don't really see him as any threat, just this overzealous, you know, person who's bought into all of the conspiracy theories about Area 51. And, you know, don't really deem them, again, as any sort of real threat.
Having cleared the air and gotten a glimpse of some of the most secluded and heavily guarded military real estate in the country, the deputy heads back to Nathan.
All right, you've caused a lot of issues tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Here's this back.
Yes.
Here's your ID back.
Okay.
Okay. So you're being cited for criminal trespass. Okay. You need to contact the courts using this number right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry for the trouble.
Well, I hope you are, but you caused a lot of trouble tonight. And
yeah.
You know, did they tell you about making contact and trying to get all that stuff back?
I've got it. Yeah.
Everything.
I've got a phone number. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, do your citation. You're free to leave. I gave you your ID back, right?
Yes.
With that, Nathan's adventures behind the gates come to an end. The deputy's report doesn't indicate whether any determination was made regarding the legitimacy of his government IDs. However, it does indicate that instead of following advice,
it behooves you to get the farthest mileage away from this area you can.
Nathan drove to the nearby Area 51-themed Little Alien Motel in Rachel, Nevada, and appeared to get himself a room. There is no mention of him returning to the base on this or any other date.
All right, see, I told you so. So he went and stayed at the Alien that was there in Rachel. So I guess they had a room available. Again, it's out there. Like most people aren't staying there. It's not very luxurious. I didn't stay out there. I stayed in Las Vegas, drove out for the day, and then drove back. So sounds like a nice, smooth ending for Nathan. No word on if the ID badges are legit or whatnot, but we did get to see into Area 51 more than we have. Again, looks very nondescript and not a lot there, right? So I don't know. What'd you think of this story? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Now, Area 51, going there, right? It can be overwhelming, but it's a perfect example too of people seeing more than they see when they go there, right? You can get swept up in the moment of where you're at and the lore that's behind it. I kind of experienced it myself being out there, right? And in retrospect, you kind of think, okay, now this is before I ever started Vetted. I went out to Area 51 and I made a video about it. I'm going to play a short clip from that. But before I do that, I'm going to play a clip from Area 52's video, okay, with Chris Ramsey, where they released basically a video of their live show they're doing. It's called It's Probably Nothing, shot in Montreal. Jesse Michaels, Chris Ramsey, they're on stage, and they had this couple come out, this Canadian couple, like French Canadian, who had gone to Area 51 and were telling a story about some craft they saw, but they also went up to this back gate, the same back gate that I visited as well. And I just want you to listen to the story, and then we'll talk about it on the other end.
For those of you who don't know, Rachel, Nevada is essentially the gates to Area 51. So it's a very popular touristic sort of hub where people drive up to that gate, you know, storm Area 51, all this type of, it's the last place you can get to without, you know, the Americans shooting you in the head.
So we saw that triangle thing zoom off, and right after that they have like some kind of sound cannon, and they started blasting us like it's so loud and so crazy. So we just like, got out of there, got in the Mustang.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
So
Did you just say sound cannon?
Yeah. Like it's
siren.
So like an alarm?
Yeah. Like a really, really loud
siren.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like inside of us.
Because
Hard to explain.
there was a video shared last year about like they were using this at a riot to separate the crowd. Does anybody remember this like video going around? I see some heads nodding. Yeah. Where they like split the crowd with this sound cannon essentially to like, and so you think they were just trying to get you out of the area.
Yeah.
He says it felt like it was inside of him.
Yeah.
It was
I like
it's
it.
a resonance.
It startles, so your heartbeat races so fast you're not expecting to be like.
We were like high on adrenaline from seeing these two things, and you know, it was crazy.
And this is what I mean. You know, unless you've been out there or know what's going on, it's how people interpret things. I've learned that so much in this community. I've done groundwork out in the field with people. You know, you see something or something happens and everyone will interpret it differently, right? Depending on their personality or experience. They'll describe it one way or another. And you don't know any of that when people tell you a story. That's why stories they can only take you so far without any evidence, right? So this couple is saying they went to the back gate at Area 51, and then they used the term sound cannon, but they used a couple other terms to describe it. And then Chris Ramsey goes into a story about a sound cannon that split people, and you know, the guy's like, I felt it deep inside. Jesse was like, wait, what? What's going on? Right? Like, unless you really pay attention to all the details, you're walking away from that story like, what are they doing at Area 51 by the gate? You know, they shot him with the sound cannon or something, but that's not what it is at all, because I know exactly what they're talking about, because I experienced the exact same thing when I went to Area 51. Let me play this clip from my video and then I'll explain afterwards. Now, just be aware that, you know, this is before I started Vetted, right? So don't expect too high a production here. Not that I have that high production now, but this was just me with a camera with my cousin heading out to Area 51.
It's time to get serious. Seriously. Serious.
Check, 1, 2, testing, apple, toast. Okay, we're getting close. I gotta admit, I'm getting nervous. I don't know why.
That should be fine. What? Because we're going to a top secret government facility? No, we're coming up. We know they're watching us. Like, what? Who is this? What is that? I mean, they have to treat us like a threat until they know we're not. Right? That's the... Oof. Thought I saw something. Good. Okay, let's stop. Let me out. I'm gonna get out right here. Okay. Okay. Hopefully I'm alive after this. Let's go. We're doing this. We're heading to Area 51. I don't know why I'm nervous. I shouldn't be nervous. Like, this is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Definitely makes me nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous, y'all. Okay, we're there. Just see what I look. We'll take a picture, see what's up, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But I am a little nervous. Let's be good. Right here, Jaybird. That's good. Right here, right here. Jaybird, not too far. Dude, this is too close. Okay, we're too close here. See where they got fences. Let's be cool. There's people in there. Okay, I feel like we're so close. All right, I don't want to be filming too much. Here we are, we're outside the gate. They're looking, I know they're looking. There's chain link all down the way. You get here and you just have this sense of like, I need to get out of here. Like, I really don't have any urge to break through there and see what's going on. I have zero urge to do that. It's interesting to be here and my heart's racing. Look at, that's the difference between Jared and I. I'm all like, my heart's racing, and I look over at you and you're taking a selfie. This is it. Wow, hear that? Yeah, time to go, y'all. Oh, there's a truck coming out? All right, we gotta go. All right, y'all, we made it to Area 51. We're here, can't believe it. Be careful coming out here, y'all. Just be careful, take it seriously, but have fun, enjoy it. They do let you come down here for a reason, but just be respectful, don't do anything stupid, and don't get close and don't cross over into there. They will F you up, okay? All right, guys. Whew.
1 second after I turned off the camera, this happened.
Scared the shit. They just honked the horn. As soon as I stopped recording, they honked this massive horn to get out of here. So we're leaving. They did not want us here. Look, okay, so you saw how long we were there for 2 minutes. They were honking horn. They wanted us gone. Look at Jared. He's like watching the rear view. Like, they might be following us. There was a truck coming out. Whew. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that just scared the living daylights out of me. Yeah, it was like a big foghorn, semi-truck horn. Like, yes, that was... Basically, you hear that, you're gone.
The scary thing about something like that is, then you know for sure we were watching it.
Dude, it is so... You can't even see over there. It's whited out. This is why they're out here, dude. They get protection from the elements. Look at that. You can't even see over there. It's literally like smoke. Looks like smoke. Okay, y'all. That's it. It's starting to rain. It's getting bad. We're headed to the hotel. That was Area 51. So if you go, be careful.
So essentially, you know, I pretty much over-dramatized that video, to be honest with you, because nothing really happened, right? But that sound that they heard, I also heard, and it is true. I was filming, and I literally turn off the camera, and the sound goes off, and I'm like, crap. So I get the camera going again. I didn't get it on film, but it just sounds like a big horn, you know, because they've got like a pole with like a horn on it, and you just hear that, like, you know, one of those push button handheld horns. Just think of one of those bigger, like a foghorn, right? Or like I described in the video, like an 18-wheeler horn. That's essentially what you hear. It is frightening because it's pitch silent out there. Is that a term? Pitch silent? I don't know. It's silent out there. And then all of a sudden you hear that. So you're just startled, right? Just like, oh, okay, we got to get out of here. You know, so that's all it was. It's not a sound cannon. They're not shooting anything inside of you. But a couple interesting points, like my cousin mentioned in the video, right? You do know that they're watching you at that point. And they are, because again, it's just one road that leads up to it. You know, they're watching the gate. You can't just break in. And they don't really mind you being around that long. You know, essentially for our particular reason, there was a truck about to come out. So I don't know if they were telling us to leave or just, hey, be aware, an 18-wheeler's about to come out. But I've seen videos online where people camped out right there for 24 hours. So, you know what I mean? But again, the misinterpretation of that sound and what happened, again, it gets described like it's something more than it is. And that happens all the time in this community. So unless you experience it yourself, you're kind of, oh, okay, that's what really happened. So when I heard them telling this story, I was like, dude, that's not what's going on at all. It's not as big a deal as they're making it. But I get in the moment, you feel that way, just like I was in the video. But afterwards, when everything settles down, the adrenaline pop, you realize, okay, they're just a horn to get you out of there, right? But I will admit, everything around Area 51, it is strange. It is interesting. Nothing UFOs or aliens that I saw, but you realize why the military uses it as a testing facility, because of its location and some of the weather patterns and things, right? Like, it just is a great place to be testing things and, you know, be away from, you know, major cities, essentially, right? So, all right, betters, hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace. Oh, and before we go, I just want to say that I am going to be taking a break from the hotline messages that I play at the end of every video. We'll bring it back soon, but I'm just going to take a break for a minute from that and have a shorter ending to these videos. But we'll bring it back at a later date. But just wanted to let you know we are going to just pause that for a moment.